Hello everyone, this is Fine from Tech Gaming Villa. I hope you all are well. This is the final part of the video about the Samsung S95C and LG G3. Today I'm going to talk about the various topics with this 2TB like low quality content smoothing or upscaling, LG G3 or Samsung S95C you prefer or not, motion, response time, stutter, etc. I will want to talk about. If you see this 2TB, the LG G3 has excellent low quality content smoothing. There is no noticeable macro blocking in dark areas and details are preserved well. But Samsung S95C has just okay processing capabilities with low quality content. It can't smooth out macro blocking very well. So it's still very noticeable, especially in dark scenes. On the other hand, it preserves fine details well. The Sony A95L OLED does a much better job smoothing out low quality content. So if you prefer the low quality content, then LG G3 processing is better and its upscaling also better than Samsung S95C. LG G3 has a very good sharpness processing with low resolution or low bitrate content. Some small details are lost, but the image is upscaled well overall on LG G3. Sharpness processing was calibrated for low resolution or low bitrate content with no over sharpening. With the following settings, you can sharpness 11 and super resolution you will pick high. On the other hand, Samsung S95C upscales DVDs and other 480p content well with no noticeable issues, but it's not as good as the Sony A95L OLED, and it's not like the LG G3 as well. If you see its pixel, LG G3 TV uses a new panels by LG Display with macro lens array technology. These panels are advertised to be brighter than those in the LG G2 OLED without requiring the actual WOLED panel to work harder, making it run hotter and thus more susceptible to burning. MLA technology instead acts as a focusing layer in front of the WOLED panel, allowing for a far brighter image. Note that the 83-inch LG G3 doesn't have MLA. Like all LG OLED TVs, all 4 subpixels are never lit simultaneously. On the other hand, the Samsung S95C uses a unique subpixel structure instead of having all 3 subpixels in a row. Each pixel forms a triangle with the larger green subpixels at the top. This is especially noticeable when displaying any content with horizontal lines, and it's especially bad when used as a PC monitor. Text has just okay clarity from a PC as Windows Clear type settings aren't designed for this subpixel structure and can't correct for it. The top edge of a white line, horizontal lines like this have a green fringe at the top as the topmost line of the subpixels are all green. Bottom edge of a white line, horizontal lines like this appear purple along the bottom as the last line has only red and blue subpixels. The LG G3 has an incredible fast pixel response time. There's very little blur behind fast moving objects. But due to the sample and hold nature of OLED technology, there's still some noticeable persistence blur. There's some slight overshoot in nearly black scenes, but this isn't noticeable. On the other hand, the Samsung S95C has a nearly instantaneous response time, resulting in incredibly clear motion with almost no blur behind fast-moving objects. Due to the sample end and hold nature of OLED technology, there's still some noticeable persistence blur when gaming at 60 Hz, but it's hardly noticeable at higher refresh rates. The LG G3 TV isn't quite flicker-free as a small decrease in brightness corresponds with the display's refresh cycle. It's very different from pulse width modulation flicker or PWM on TVs with LED backlights and isn't noticeable. On the other hand, the Samsung S95C TV isn't technically flicker-free as there's a small decrease in brightness that corresponds with the refresh cycle of the display. This is very different from pulse width modulation flicker on TVs with LED backlights, and it's not noticeable. The LG G3 TV has an optional black frame insertion feature, which is called VFI, that reduces the appearance of persistence blur caused by the TV's nearly instantaneous pixel response time. Like the LG G2 OLED, LG has removed the 120 Hz flicker mode available on the 2021 LG OLED TVs. So it can only flicker at 60 Hz. BFI also reduces the TV's perceived brightness, which is noticeable in practice. On the other hand, the Samsung S95C has an optional black frame insertion feature that reduces the appearance of persistence blur caused by the TV's nearly instantaneous response time. It can only insert black frames at a 60 Hz refresh rate. For motion interpolation section, like all of LG's high-end OLEDs, the optional motion interpolation feature works well and is better than most TVs. However, it also introduces what is commonly known as the soap opera effect, which will annoy some people. Motion appearance significantly smoother with less persistence blur, thanks to the higher frame rate. But again, there are some noticeable artifacts in busy scenes. The Samsung S95C TV has an optional motion interpolation feature to improve the clarity of motion. It works well with slower scenes, but in fast-paced action, it can't keep up, and there are noticeable artifacts and haloing. As with all LEDs, due to the technology's nearly instantaneous pixel response time, there is noticeable stutter with low frame rate content. It's very noticeable in slow panning shots in movies, although some people are more sensitive to it than others. The black frame insertion feature and the motion interpolation feature can help reduce the appearance of stutter, but they both have their drawbacks. On the other hand, for Samsung S95C, unfortunately due to this TV's quick response time, slow paced motion and panning shots stutter a lot. So both TV actually stutter. The TV can almost always remove judder when watching 24p movies or TV shows, even from sources that can only send a 60 Hz signal like a cable box, like the LG G2 OLED. The real cinema setting has to be enabled to remove judder. Sadly, movies aren't judder free when BFI is enabled, because the black frame insertion feature can only flicker at 60 Hz on the G3. On the other hand, the Samsung S95C is always judder-free when watching 24p movies or TV shows, even from sources that can only send a 60 Hz signal, like a cable box. It's even judder-free with the BFI feature enabled on a 60 Hz signal. For gaming, the LG G3 TV supports FreeSync, HDMI 4 VRR, and is G-Sync compatible certified, ensuring a nearly tear-free gaming experience from any VRR-enabled source. It works well across a wide refresh rate range, even when it drops very low, as the TV supports low frame rate compensation. There's some flickering when VRR is enabled, as was reported on the LG C2 LED in 2022. It's noticeable in low and fluctuating frame rate situations on near black screen. This flickering in action, there's a setting on the TV called fine-tune dark areas, and increasing it raises the black level and makes content brighter, reducing the perceptible flicker. It does affect image accuracy, however, but the Samsung S95C OLED supports variable refresh rate technology to reduce screen tearing. It works well across a wide refresh rate range, even when your frame rate drops low, as it also supports low frame rate compensation or LFC. It's also compatible with all three types of VRR, ensuring it's fully compatible with all sources that support VRR. The LG G3 TV has a low input lag, resulting in a very responsive gaming experience, although it's still not as good as high-end gaming monitors. It's better than most TVs and good enough for most gamers. These results are with the boost mode setting set to on in the game optimizer menu, which reduces input lag by 2 to 3 milliseconds like most TVs. The input lag is too high outside of game mode for competitive reaction-based games. Input lag is also higher at 1920 into 1440 when using a 4:3 aspect ratio versus the original aspect ratio. With an input lag of 27 millisecond at 120 Hz and 13.8 millisecond at 60 Hz. For lower 4:3 resolutions like 640 to 480 or 320 to 240, the input lag is unaffected between running at 4:3 versus using the original aspect ratio. To get the lowest input lag with Chroma 4:4 support, you need to set the input to PC with game mode enabled. The LG G3 also now has the option to enable 4:4 pass-through in the game optimizer settings, resulting in Chroma 4:4 support with the lowest input lag. Enabling 4:4 pass-through disables motion interpolation settings. On the other hand, the Samsung S95C TV has incredibly low input lag, ensuring a very responsive gaming experience with very little delay between your actions with your controller or mouse and action on screen. With BFI enabled at 60 Hz, game mode, game motion plus enabled, and ear motion enabled, input lag is 29.4 milliseconds. So both TV is toe to toe. So I will say for input lag, both are tied. So in this true TV, which TV you like most, please write in the comments below. That's it from now. If you like this video, please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications update. I have another channel named Awesome Tech Gaming Pro, where I upload similar kind of tech videos. Please visit this channel and subscribe for update. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.
To change your